Hey everybody, it's Alan here. And there is something wrong with my Elaeagnus. And I love this tree because it just has such nice lines. And I've had it since 2023. And it was part of the package of trees that I got from my friend who decided to get out of bonsai. And in March of 24, I cut it way back and I took some cuttings. And I will show you some of the cuttings. So here's 3 different size cuttings. This is the smallest size. And you can see it's just really nice and healthy. And then this is a little bit bigger in a 6-inch bulb pan. The pan that first one was in was actually mushrooms. It's just a container that used to have mushrooms. And I poked holes in the bottom and turned it into a training pot. And they work quite well for me. 6-inch bulb pan. This one is also super healthy. And then a larger one in an 8-inch bulb pan. And it is quite long. And I've done nothing with those cuttings as far as trimming. I'm just letting them grow. Letting them get as long and as tall and as healthy as they can get. So those are the cuttings that I took in March of 2024. In January of 2025, I took this tree out of the rectangular pot that it was in, and I think I'm going to take the cuttings and put them back so they don't distract. Okay, I'm back. And I put it into this oval. And it really changed the whole look of the tree, and I just loved it. I thought it was a fantastic transformation from the rectangular pot to this oval. And rectangular pots are typically reserved for more masculine trees, and this is certainly a feminine tree. Thin trunk, nice movement, graceful lines. So I want it to end up in a shallower pot, but this is the transition pot. But lately, it's been drooping tremendously. And we've also been getting a lot of real yellow leaves. And a lot of yellow leaves. And so it's just not doing well. And I am suspecting that it's root rot. Even though it looks like it's wilting, I think it's root rot. So the soil that this tree was in was quite old when I took it from the rectangular pot into here, and I did not remove all of that old soil. So I think what I'm getting, and I put it into a very, very rocky mix. So I think what I'm getting is that the exterior part, the perimeter that has this rocky mix, is draining really quickly, so it looks like it's too dry. But right around the trunk, it's staying way too wet. And a perfect example of that is the incredibly beautiful green moss. And I already started taking the moss off just to sort of see what was going on. And there's no question in my mind. Alright, so I started taking this moss off just to see what was going on. And you can see it is just soaking wet. And so is the soil. So I'm taking all of this moss. And actually the soil that's right around the tree itself has turned to mush. It almost looks like it's been inundated with earthworms. So I think I'm going to have to do an emergency repot, which I do not want to do. But it is just so wet around the trunk. And now, it's going to be a repot. There'll be no root pruning. I'm just going to try to get... I mean, you can just see how nasty this soil is. It's just so nasty. Compared to, the rocky soil, the bonsai soil. So, can't seem to pull that part up. So yeah, the whole old root ball is just really bad off. So I'm going to try to save it. I don't think I'm going to be able to save it with this soil the way it is. The only other thing I could possibly do is put it in a place where it gets some sun but fairly dense shade, but no water, no rain. So that's another possibility. But the first thing I'm going to do is just see what do the roots look like. The tree itself has still got a lot of green, even though everything is drooping. But yeah, the roots are all, I don't even see any live roots. All this stuff here is all brown. So I think I'm going to still use the same pot. Oh, look at all that water on the tray. So I'm going to use the same pot. Still got the drain screens that are still good. And you know, it also has ants. So I'm going to have to treat it for the ants. I'm going to have to try to blast off a lot of this really ragged soil near the root, near the trunk, and then just repot it. And actually over here, this bucket is full of a smaller grain mix, so I may also add some of that. So yeah, no question, this tree is staying way too wet. So hopefully I can save it. It won't be the first bonsai I've killed. And you know, my mind is saying, well, why didn't you just take the whole thing and just put it under the area where it won't get any rain, and then just monitor the water and leave it as is? And I could have probably done that. But I really want to blast all this nasty soil off of here. So wow, I don't see any live roots, poor thing. It's all brown. But there has to be something, because the tree is still green. I mean, the leaves are still green. But I think this is going to be the ticket, is to get all that nasty old soil off of there. So let's go get the hose and blast this thing. Well, I made a terrible discovery, and that is that the ants have eaten all the cambium off this tree. All the wood, look at it, it's all just bare. The cambium is only way up here where the moss was, and the ants have eaten all the rest of it. And there is 0 live roots that I can see at all. So that is so unfortunate. So I think I'm going to lose this tree. I don't see how in the world it's going to be able to come back. And about the only thing I'm going to be able to do, and I am going to do this, I'm going to take rooting hormone and try to spread it all the way along the cambium that is still here, and then bury it deep enough, give it totally dry soil, put it into my section that gets no rain, and treat it just as a giant cutting. There are no living roots though, no living roots at all, so it does not look good. And I guess I should have tended to it sooner, because I did see it beginning to struggle only a few days ago, really. But look, the ants have just eaten the whole cambium all the way off, all the way around. They've girdled the whole thing. So I hope you like your dinner. And I have a lot of really aggressive ants that eat wood. They love Ilex shillings. So this is so disappointing. But I'm going to do the best I can to try to get it to survive. And like I said, the next step is to spread good layer of rooting hormone right around the cambium that's up in here. And the tree itself, you know, it still has some green. So let's hope that we can save it. Alright, well, I've got my rooting hormone and I'm just going to apply it with my fingers. Man, they have cut into everything. Just amazing. And I didn't see signs of ants because they're quite masters of, they hide. I don't know what to say. So you don't even notice that you've got a problem until, I hope it's not too late for this tree. But it's not looking good. There's no doubt about that. It is not looking good at all. I think this is about the only thing I can do. And hopefully there's still some photosynthesis going on in the top. And now it's going into dense, dense shade and no rainwater. The only water it will get will be from me. And I guess I'm going to try to put it back in the pot. I don't think there's any reason. What did I do with my scissors? I probably took them over to where I blasted it, right? So I don't think I need any of these roots because they're all dead anyway. Well, bonsai is a hobby, but sometimes you can get catastrophes like this. You know, I always hear John Naka, his voice when he says, to become a bonsai master, you have to kill 1,000 trees. Which for a beginner, you're probably like, what? What kind of craziness is that? But, you know, it's kind of the message is that if you are a beginner, don't expect to have total 100% success. Yeah, I'm not sure it's even going to fit in there. I'm going to put it into a totally different pot. Just a training pot. I think I'll use the steeper. It's one of those aquatic plant trays. But that should definitely give it some good. Yeah, okay, now I can put, you know, I think I'm going to add a little bit more rooting hormone. I mean, this whole entire container is $6 and it lasts about a year, so just fill it up as much as I can. Oh, bummed out is an understatement. But the tree still has green. The tree still has leaves. And I think this is really the only thing I'm going to be able to do. So, and once again, this is a much finer mix. And since it's going into a place where it's not going to receive any extra water, is my elbow in the way? I need a little more, so I'll just go get some more from the shed to make sure that that cambium is covered. Because right now you can see it's still not quite covered. It's just right there, but not quite. So now just not even going to water it. Just going to leave it, let it try to recover, get that extra soil, and you know, hope. The ants in my yard can be very vicious. They love ilex shillings. That's their favorite. They will chew ilex shillings to death in a heartbeat, and you never even know it's happening because they're coming from up underneath. So there we go. So let's try to pan out. The tree is at a totally different angle now. It's at a totally different everything, but hopefully I can get it to live. So there you go. There's talk about an emergency repot. Poor thing. And wow, has anybody ever seen cambium eaten like that all the way around, totally girdled for like 1.5 inches, maybe even 2 inches? That's just insane. So I'm glad I got to it when I did. And then now I just have to give it some major TLC, and we'll just have to see what happens. So thanks for watching, and with any luck, the next update on this tree will be its recovery instead of its carcass. So we'll see you then.